Howdy, I'm Daniel Markham. I wrote the domain model for domain modeling, and I'm doing some more cool stuff. As you can see, I'm actually at the beach this week, so I did put on a t-shirt and some flip-flops. I believe in dressing up if you're going to do a presentation. I'd like to talk about code cognitive load. I've wrote an essay on it, something I've been thinking about for a year or so. I think neuroscientists, psychologists, psychiatrists have something they call cognitive load, and it's about sort of the difficulty that's involved in picking up something and doing it. And those guys are way smarter than I am. So if you're interested in that part of things, please research that some more. I'm more interested in the difficulty of picking up a piece of code and working with it, which is sort of a different application of the same idea. So I'm calling it code cognitive load. And this is not just sort of fluffy stuff. This is there's a real number here. It means something. It's important. Here's the essay. I'll post it later on. Basically, what I do is I take some examples of good code, bad code, what I call dangerous code. Then I'll walk through it and point out why it's good, why it's bad, why it's dangerous. And this has nothing to do with your language, whether it's OOP, FP, Bash. It has nothing to do. You can be doing cloud ops. This is anytime you put code into a system to configure it in version control and it's supposed to do something. So if you're changing future behavior for some target system, this is for you. Okay. Once I talk about the different code examples, then we explain why they're the way they are. And then finally I do a definition of code cognitive load, which is what I told you, but then I define that in terms of numbers. So where this is headed is a metric, right? So I want to add some kind of plugin, I don't know, either Sublime Text or maybe VS Code. I haven't decided. Shouldn't be too tough. I think the toughest part is I'll have to walk the linker or the AST. Actually, the Open Compiler language plugin standard should really help here. But here's the formula. Then I, based on that formula, talk about all the things that fall out of that, right? So we talk about TDD, we talk about method size, we talk about application size. I want to talk at some point about DSLs. As a matter of fact, there's so much stuff to go into once we cover this. I just sort of hit the highlights to do the top 4 or 5. It's interesting. It should make you think about programming differently. And I hope you like the essay. Please participate. And I will see you on the internet.